Hello internets, this is Bone Carlos coming to you live from Cloud Kingdom to bring you another StarCraft 2 commentary. Today the players are going to be Moonlight spawning as the blue Zerg. His opponent is going to be Dipwood spawning as the red Protoss, so PVZ obviously on Cloud Kingdom as I stated before. And take a look around the map. Easy to secure natural expansion, a wide area of attack with a wide ramp here, and destructible rocks here to block off half the attacking or defending army depending on how you see fit. And what's interesting for Protoss is that one sentry can hold this off for a very long time, especially early game. Of course, if the opponent decides to swing around from the side, it has easy clearance and a nice wide area of attack through here. And it looks like Dipwood is going to not do a forged fast expand. Looks like he's going to go ahead and do a one base play. Going to go ahead and probably put down a gateway with a cybernetics core with a zealot to complete that wall off. So this harkens back to, I would say, season 2, 3, maybe even early 4, before the forged fast expand for the Protoss got very popular. And looking at his opponent, Moonlight is still not doing anything too crazy. Already has 14 drones, so I'm expecting him to stop producing them at any second now to put down the spawning pool, put down his expansion, and continue on from there. Already the spawning pool going down, so yay me for knowing kinda sorta what I'm talking about. I expect him to put down his expansion anytime soon, and it looks like there goes that drone. Dipwood is right there being buddies with him as long as possible to delay this expansion as long as possible. And here you go, the ring around the rosy. Back in his base though, he is putting down that gateway. Looks like there is a little bit of a gap right here, so he's going to go ahead and put his zealot right over here, finish it off with his gateway right over here, putting down his assimilator. So nothing out of the ordinary just yet. His probe is down to one hit, and there it goes. The pylon does go down. No worries, folks. More than likely that is going to be canceled, especially since that probe was destroyed. But it looks like Moonlight saying, you know what, forget this. I'm just going to go ahead and take this third, which is a little bit dangerous since I do not think he has scouted just yet. Normally this is, if this happens, it's a-okay to take your third. Since you're assuming your opponent is forged fast expanding, especially since he's a Protoss. But in this case, it's a little bit iffy. I mean, the pylon was already cancelled, so the reason I was saying it that this is a little bit of an iffy play is that you can't connect the creep that easily between these two bases, and this is just so hard to defend as Zerg. I mean, if Protoss decided to do, I don't know, a 2 or 3 or 4 gate play, early aggression, early attack with a proxy pylon, say here, he will be able to take down this expansion very easily, and then Moonlight would just be down those 300 minerals. But for right now, he's putting up four Zerglings up at the front. The zealot pops just in time. Let's see if he is put on hold position, and looks like a sentry is being built. Still no warp gate being researched. I assume as soon as he gets that 50 gas, it is, and there it goes. And this is actually a very precarious situation. You don't want to move that zealot off because you don't want these Zerglings to be pushed ahead. One hit will be fine, and then just kind of maneuver around the dance of death. You really want to be very careful because if those Zerglings get into your base, they could do pretty much a lot of damage here. I mean, 4 Zerglings could probably kill about 2, 3, maybe even 4 probes if you are caught off guard, and that's just something that you don't want. The sentry's going to go ahead and chase away this overload, going to go ahead and tickle it to death, and I'll be back in about 20 minutes to when it finally does manage to bring it down. So interesting play by Moonlight. He's already putting down his Roach one, but no extractor just yet. His third, or actually second expansion is already up. It looks like his third is already up as well. So let's just go ahead and continue calling it the second natural expansion over here, and this is going to go ahead and be the third, just to not confuse myself or anybody listening. Still no drones on these extractors, but why bother since you can't really use anything to build anything that uses gas just yet. It probably is just too busy just walking around the map, and it looks like this Zealot Sentry combo was able to push back and push back all of those Zerglings, and I like what he did here. He pushed forward with a single Zealot, a single Sentry, managed to take care of those 4 Zerglings, but he still kept a Sentry in the back just in case Moonlight decided to just do a run by. He still had this Sentry here to force field it off and just save his probies from being destroyed. It looks like Moonlight finally puts down his drones on the extractor. He's going to go ahead and start harvesting that gas, and oh, Nice play by dipwood. Go ahead and puts his units in the corner with a single force field to block off. Try to do maximum amount of damage, but the force field was too little too late, and the zealot was just too low on HP. A couple of nibbles and he was evaporated. But still, that's generally the idea of what you want to do when you are completely surrounded just like that. Just go ahead and put yourself in the corner, put up a force field, and just minimize damage as much as possible. Well, you know what? He is actually doing a very nice job of continuing that wall off. A very early expansion when you're only on one base play. I mean, honestly, he really didn't build any gateways up until trying to complete this wall off. So actually, these two sentries are going to be able to hold this off for quite a long time. Yeah, he's going to be able to hold this off for quite a while. Hallucination is being built. Not sure what exactly for just yet. More than likely, it's going to go ahead and be Phoenix scouting purposes. But that's just about it. In Moonlight's space, we see him doing very good on the macro side of things. So yeah, very good on the macro side of things. Nothing too crazy as of yet. His harvester count is actually quite low compared to the Protoss player, who looks like he was probing up very heavily and using that chrono boost on those probes. He must have, since he is up on harvesters up against the Zerg player, and all the larvae that was used up on these Zerglings, this probably has to do with that fact as well. And we already see Twilight Council about 50% done, but this Overlord is going to go ahead and scout pretty much everything. It doesn't look like dipwood is really worried too much about it. With the Twilight Council, I imagine it's going to go ahead and be some sort of maybe charge lot, maybe some blink play. Since he is building a lot of sentries, I don't really know what this Twilight Council is for just yet. I'd like to see exactly what he begins researching out of it as soon as it gets up and running. But what I have noticing from Moonlight is not that great of a creep spread. He does have plenty of energy to start spreading that creep, and that's just one of the things that he is lacking. He is doing a nice job of just harassing the Protoss player dipwood from being able to move out just casually and at his leisure. But he's sacrificing it hitting his vision and his creep spread. Blink is being researched along with the robotics facility is being put down, so more than likely definitely going to see Blink play. More than likely just blink up into the base, pick off a few things here and there, and just go ahead and just blink on home. But this is going to be a nice interesting little battle. We see pure sentries up against pure sentries and a single stalker versus just roaches and zerglings. The zerglings do melt to these zealots quite quickly, and a maze of force fields does trap most of the roaches. Takes care of about 3 or 4, and these roaches are actually going to go down very, very quickly. So that just goes to show you the power of the force fields. And naturally, Moonlight's response is to build more roaches. Already has, I would say, about 16 with 9 more on the way. Actually, that's about 17 roaches right there with 9 more on the way. And looks like he is going to go ahead and dipwood is going to go ahead and push forward to attack this third. More than likely going to see a complete wall off with force fields. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, but there is a gap. A few roaches do get through, and then this is just too many roaches for the Protoss forces to handle, so they're just going to head on home. Moonlight is, of course, not amused. He's not going to go ahead and slip through this gap, since dipwood more than likely hoping that a couple of roaches just got through and then seal off that gap and then pick off whatever went through at his leisure. An Immortal is being put through, churned out with an Observer. This Immortal is going to do tons of damage to these roaches as soon as they get into the field of play, since I think these are armored. Yep, they are armored. So this Immortal is going to do 50 damage versus these roaches. So it's going to be the key to the turning point in this battle. That is to say, as long as these roaches don't get caught out of position. We do see a third base going down for Moonlight, or actually dipwood, and he's going to go ahead and spread his forces. This Immortal already has 1 kill, but he might get taken down, and it actually is saved. He manages to survive with 2 HP, has 2 kills to his name. But the roaches are going to go ahead and push forward and try to take out this next. I do not think they're going to be able to take it down as long as these Protoss forces just move into position. A couple of more volleys, and it is cancelled. He's going to go ahead and save himself the 100 minerals. Going to force field him off those roaches and take care of them. Easy pickings, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, and he's going to go ahead and wow, Moonlight's response is just to keep producing roaches. At this point, you want a Spire already up for the Protoss player, or at least a couple of infestors on the field of play to be able to lock down these units and do those kinds of the damage that you need from the infestors. And roaches do take forward. See the Zilnaga Tower, see the Protoss forces. The link is put into effect. dipwood is trying to bait the Zerg player to get himself caught with these force fields, but he is not fooled. They're just going to go ahead and hang out and chop away at these destructible rocks. And this just gives himself a higher angle of attack. He's going to give himself a nice little concave. He doesn't want to push too forward, but finally the roaches do push forward. Nice force field block most of the roaches, but there's just too many. dipwood pulls back just to save himself from that having too much damage, and this Immortal already has 4 kills to its name. Might get 5. The force fields do finally go down, but this is just a lot of kills that the Protoss army already has. Zerglings do stream forward, but finally pushes back the Protoss player. And yeah, dipwood is forced to retreat. Once those sentries were down, once those force fields were gone, it was pretty much no-go for the Protoss player. Now it's just going to be Zergling, Roach Force, and it looks like Moonlight wants no part of it, even though his food differential is greatly in Moonlight's favor. The third base actually of dipwood is finally up and running, along with +1. Actually, +2 armor is already in effect. +1 attack and armor is already done for dipwood. Taking a look at, wow, it looks like only +1 attack for Moonlight is done. So definitely, dipwood definitely does have the greater tech advantage alongside with the upgrade. So I'm interested to see exactly how this battle turns out. I know a robotics bay is already done. I'm not sure if he's going to start turning out those colossi, but he only has 1 robotics facility, so I'm not sure exactly how he's going to use it quite yet. He already has his third up and running. He has those assimilators, so let's see exactly where everything falls into place. Taking a look at the income tab, we see dipwood is still in the lead, still out producing his workers compared to the Zerg player, and more DTs are on the field. So I actually like this play. If these DTs just go forward and just start attacking and hacking away at these units, it'll be pretty much a lot of damage to be able to be done by those DTs. We see dipwood is going to try to create a wall off here, but Zerglings, no Zerglings won't be able to sleep through there. A nice push forward by Moonlight, but there, go ahead and just pull on back at the number of photon cannons there. He's not going to go ahead and throw away his units needlessly. He's just going to go ahead and pull on back, and these DTs are going to have the time of their life. I mean, the Overseer tech can be produced, but dipwood is just going to go ahead and go straight for the base, for the main base of Moonlight. I'm just, very interested. You already see 1, and a nice fungal to reveal that DT. Looks like dipwood is just attacking anything and everything possible. He already has a 3 kills. Looks like maybe 1 more fungal does reveal it, and it is over. But there is still a 3rd DT hanging around the main base of Moonlight. He's going to go ahead and start swatting away at the queens. And then he goes ahead and starts attacking the drones. And he already has 4 kills, and as soon as that infestor gets onto the field, he's going to go ahead and put down a fungal growth and reveal it. And it's going to be game over for this DT. And actually, where is... There it is. Actually does not have enough for a fungal growth. So this is actually buying dipwood plenty of time, a lot of time, to be able to take up his 4th base, macro up, get his pylons down to be able to get him out of this supply block. Moonlight does have the army advantage right now, but this harassment is buying him plenty of time. It looks like spore crawlers are being put down. There's already 1 at the natural expansion, 1 at the 3rd, or actually 1 at the 4th, none at the 3rd just yet, but this DT is still having great time, has 16 kills to his name, definitely has paid himself off. +2 is already done for the Protoss forces. While taking a look at the Zerg army, it has +2 melee attack, or actually range attacks, and it looks like this DT is going to go ahead and hang out and start attacking these evolution chambers. There is an Overseer there, but with the forces of the Protoss unit in the front lines, taking out infestors left and right. That's actually 4 free kills for the Protoss unit. This base is going to go down. These stalkers get caught out of position. These zealots are actually just, it would be better just to leave them alone. Let them take care of as many Zerglings as possible. Nice fungals on the main army of dipwood, but still that is not enough. There is just a lot of damage that these Colossus are being taken care of along with these Archons, but it just proves that the forces of the Zerg player Moonlight is just too much. The Protoss forces are forced to retreat, and the entire army is down for dipwood. Still, the food advantage is still in Moonlight's favor by 60. And the Spire is finally going down, but I will still give a slight advantage to the Protoss player. I mean, he already has Colossus Tech, he has DT, he has Archons, while Moonlight is barely starting to research his Spire Tech. And this is a time at 21 minutes, you already want to have Spire Tech up and running. I'm not sure exactly what his attack was. He cost himself most of his roaches running into these photon cannons, getting torn apart by those colossi that were there. This expansion was actually taken care of, was taken down, so good for dipwood to be able to take that down. And looks like still Moonlight did have a miss rally, and most of those forces were just taken care of for free. Taking a look at the units kill tab, we see dipwood killed 209 units killed to only 67 of Moonlight. So wow, that's actually about right. Most of those were only Zergling kills, while a couple of them were roaches. Finally, it looks like the Moonlight is pushing forward. Managed to get a couple of kills, a couple of free kills here and there. The Dark Templar actually pushed forward. A Fungal does miss most of them. Finally, the Fungal does reveal the other two, but there's still a third one on the field of play. There is enough energy for one more Fungal growth, but it looks like Moonlight does not want to take care of it just yet. He's going to go ahead and retreat, recuperate and regroup with his army, and go ahead and push forward at a later time, while dipwood is going to go ahead and casually take his fifth. A fleet beacon is down on the field, so more than likely going to see a mothership, since I doubt we're going to see carrier play anytime soon. Where is that starport? There it is. High Templar is being researched along with Psionic Storm, and the mothership is being built. Corruptors are being produced as well, and let's see if that Greater Spire was being built, or was that just a regular Spire. Greater Spire is done, so as soon as these Corruptors pop, I'm assuming I'm going to go ahead and see Broodlord play coming out of Moonlight. Single probe is going to go ahead and put down a proxy pylon behind enemy lines, or we're going to warp in a couple of High Templar and wait until they charge up on their energy and just storm the hell out of these drones. Another little engagement. Looks like another engagement is going to happen. These High Templar don't have enough energy for a storm just yet. dipwood realizes that, pulls back, doesn't want to lose the High Templar just yet, and those were just going to go ahead and push forward, take out this photon cannon very quickly. Looks like dipwood is just buying his time until the Psionic Storm is done. Those High Templar have enough energy. A Psionic Storm does go down and takes a lot of health out of those roaches. It looks like Moonlight finally figures it out. It's going to go ahead and pull back and forth, trying to dance around those storms until he is ready to press forward and end this battle. But not just yet. I mean, this is a per roach army. Finally, Overseer goes into play. Broodlords are being researched. A nice Psionic Storm catches most of the roaches, and nice spread on those storms, doing massive amounts of damage. This Colossi is not where it should be, but it is not getting focus fire down on just yet. A blink back does leave the Colossus by itself. It is destroyed in 1 or 2 volleys. A single Archon gets quite a few kills, and finally dipwood managed to take care of the rest of Moonlight's army, but still the food differential is quite high and in the favor of Moonlight, and it continues to have done so throughout the entire game. And there goes the DTs, there goes the Zealots. They're going to go ahead and take down this hatchery again. Roaches are going to go ahead and stream forward, but they are running away from the battle that is to be, and it looks like dipwood is going to go ahead and buy himself some more time. This hatchery is going to go down very quickly. A couple more stripes, they are done. Now these Zealots, now these High Templar are free to do what they will to the Zerglings. The infestors and 2 little broodlings are being fired upon by these broodlords. Oh, there is a spore crawler there, so the detection was enabled. Currently, there's actually only 2 mining bases for Moonlight, while dipwood has 1, 2, 3 mining bases. And take a look at the income tab. We see the harvester count still favors dipwood, so this is essentially what is keeping him in the game, even though he has been behind the food lead with Moonlight the entire game. His economic advantage, his macro skills has been keeping him in this game, and that's the only thing that has been keeping him in this game, along with hero probes that have a kill. This probe carrying that Vespin gas managed to kill an entire infester all by his lonesome. So good job for that probe getting himself into the thick of things. A fungal growth is going to go ahead and lock him in place and finally destroy him. But that is the hero probe of the game. No matter what happens, the tales were going to be sung across the lands forever and ever and ever about a probe that killed an infester with his bare little mandibles. So, looking over at the production tab, nothing is being produced out of both players just yet except a cup for roaches. And this single hatchery, it is cancelled. Moonlight decides to just leave the game. Not sure why he left the game, to be honest with you. Maybe he just got a wee bit too frustrated with that final battle, losing all those broodlords to those stalkers. But whatever the case may be, congratulations to dipwood for churning out that victory, making sure to sock it to those Zerg players because they're just high and mighty in my opinion. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this cast. I'm going to get on out of here. Oh, before I go, if you guys want me to cast one of your own replays, one of your own games, leave a comment down below with a link to one of the major replay sites, and I'll be more than happy to take care of it for y'all. I am out of here.